In this video, I'm going to be reviewing the Hieronymus XH5 notebook. I'll go over the specs, I'll do a paper test, and I'll tell you what I like and don't like about this notebook coming up. Blake here with Blake's Broadcast. On this channel, I review fountain pens, paper, and ink, and as always, I put links in the show notes in the description below. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps out my channel. Alright, let's get on with the review. This is the Hieronymus XH5 notebook in metallic black. Hieronymus CP Correspondence Privé is a high-end stationery brand out of Switzerland. I've been very interested in their notebooks. Interestingly, they are the only other brand of notebooks that I'm aware of that's using the 80 GSM version of blocker paper like we use in our Papermind blocker notebook. However, Hieronymus's blocker notebook starts at 210 Swiss francs and then I think goes up to 285. So that's way more expensive than our notebook, and when you get the same paper here. Anyway, this is their cheapest notebook. This is 88 Swiss francs, which when I bought it was around $80, and then I had to pay $30 to have it shipped from Switzerland to the United States. So this is a very expensive notebook. But again, this is their cheapest notebook. Their most expensive notebook is called the Imperial, and it's 1,600 Swiss francs, just crazy. They make a fountain pen. The cheapest one is 2,800 Swiss francs. They make a solid gold one, which is price on request. And they also make what they call writing furniture, which is marble and lacquered boxes and desk accoutrements. I think on their website I saw ones that were up to like 3,000 Swiss francs, and then of course they also have pieces that are priced on request. So this is a very high-end company. This is definitely luxury stationery at these prices, but I was just fascinated with what they were doing, and so I finally broke down and treated myself to their cheapest notebook here, which is the XH5, and they call this a refill. There's a $500 leather cover that you can buy that comes with it, that is separate from this. With that $500 though, you do get one of these notebooks, so let's walk through it. So in terms of the size, it is 142 millimeters by 190 millimeters. Hieronymus doesn't use any standard sizes, so they make a H5 size, which is this, and then they make an H4 size, which is larger. As a comparison, this is a B6 size, sort of modified one. This is our Papermind blocker notebook, and then this is our Mitsubishi bank paper notebook, which is a proper A5 size, and you can just see it's quite a bit shorter, and it is actually narrower. Now, the build quality of this notebook was sort of why I was really interested in it. These are, as far as I know, made by hand. They have a rounded spine, which is something that I really like. We have a gilded top edge. We have a headband and a matching footband and a very nice metallic bookmark. Now, the silver foil is only on the top edge. It's not on the sides. They don't specify what paper is in this. It's 120 GSM uncoated. We have a sort of French joint here on the edge. On the back, we have Hieronymus in silver foil. Looks really nice. This is sort of like a heavy buckram texture. It doesn't have a particularly natural feel, but it looks nice and it feels very high quality. And of course, you know, Hieronymus expects you to use this with a $400 leather cover or whatever it is. Going up from this, they make a silk cover one, and then they go into their leather covers. But anyway, let's open it up. We have a very nice sort of metallic paste down here. It looks really pretty, really cool pattern here. And then we have a spot here for a number and a topic or your name. And then we can see Hieronymus Correspondence Privé. And then we just go straight into the pages. Now, Hieronymus notebooks are all blank. I don't believe they make any ruled or dot, so they're all blank. And then at the very back here, we have that paste down again, and I think there's their logo, which is the Ouroboros, serpent eating its tail, and we can see manufactured in Switzerland. I believe these are all handmade, hand-stitched. Now, in using this notebook, in the front, I think just because of, I don't know, the tightness of the binding or what, it was a little bit uncomfortable probably for those first 40 or so pages. I was using my bone folder to just really nail down those pages, and even still, it wasn't the most comfortable experience. Getting towards the the binding middle here, just it was hard to write on there, even as I tried to flatten it as as best I could. So in terms of comfort, I don't find this notebook to be the most comfortable. I really do like the paper that they use. I don't normally like 120-gram paper. That's usually a little bit heavier than I like, but it has a nice crisp feeling. It has a high quality texture to it. I like the natural feel of it. It is very nice to write on. It works very well with fountain pens. We can go to the paper test here. But just in terms of writing comfort, I didn't find this to be as comfortable as some other notebooks. As you get into the middle though, like I showed, it does lay pretty flat, but again, those first 40 or so pages were pretty difficult, and I think as I get to the back, I'm gonna run into that comfort issue again. Now, looking at the front here, we do see some feathering with the Pilot Parallel pens, and again, those are very wet pens, not really what this notebook is designed for. The normal fountain pens all look beautiful, no issues with any of the other pens. The face of this looks really good. These are just very wet. Now, going to the back, again, being that 120 GSM paper, we saw pretty much no bleed through on the Pilot Parallels. There's, a spot here or there, a little bit more on the 2.4 millimeter, nothing on the fountain pens. You can see this Pilot V10 1.0 millimeter rollerball. This is a very wet rollerball, trying to come through just ever so slightly, but I don't think it makes it all the way through. The Stettler permanent marker barely comes through. Sharpie a bit, Pilot Oil Drawing Pen barely, Copic came through a decent amount. And that's really, I just think, down to the weight of the paper. One other thing I'll point out is that, we do get some bowing here, which I was kind of disappointed to see, but I think it's just the nature of the book. The paper is really thick. It is pretty flexible, which I do like, and I would think maybe with that leather cover, maybe it's less obvious. I'm not sure. But overall, I do enjoy using this notebook. I do find it to be luxurious. I would probably like to get a bigger size because I think the thickness of the paper just makes it a little bit less comfortable. Whereas like, in the front of this, because this is a lighter 80 GSM paper, and these you can write more closely up to the edge, whereas here, or I'll just go to the back here to kind of simulate it, you really have to, I think just the binding or the thickness of the paper, I don't know what it is, you don't really get to the edge as easily as you can with a notebook that has thinner paper in it. And I mean, this has, a Swiss binding, so it's a little bit more flexible already, but I think I've just gotten used to lay flat bindings, and this one you really have to force. But overall, I do like it. The quality is definitely here. I can't say I recommend it. You kind of have to be a stationary nut like me to want an $80 notebook like this. But I figured I'd show it to you. It's interesting. Their brand, it's very interesting what they do. They make really high quality stuff. So what are my pros and cons for the Hieronymus XH5 notebook? The biggest pro for me is definitely the build quality. I think everything about this looks and feels really high quality. I like the rounded spine. I like the head band and foot band, as well as the nice bookmark. I like the silver edge that we have on the top of the notebook. The cover has this sort of heavy buckram texture that feels really good. The paper is 120 GSM uncoated paper. I don't normally like paper that's this thick, but this has been really nice to write on. I really have enjoyed it, and it is very fountain pen friendly. In terms of cons, the obvious one is the price, 88 Swiss francs, which was around $80 when I bought it. I don't know what it is now. There was also $30 for shipping from Switzerland. It's very, very expensive. And this is their cheapest proper notebook, and this is considered a refill for a $400 leather cover. I think their cheapest, quote unquote, standalone notebook is either $100 or $200. Now, the other thing I would say is this isn't the most comfortable notebook to use. I mean, it is flexible, it is well made, but I've found that I'm really always trying to use, a bone folder to just get the pages down, and even then, it's just Not quite the most comfortable, but that's pretty much it. Do you guys have this notebook? Do you like this notebook? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you like this video, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more fountain pen, paper, and ink videos, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much, and until next time.